Are you over 50? Stop taking creatine until you see this. What if I told you taking creatine after 50 the wrong way could be the exact reason you're not seeing any results? It sounds surprising, but it happens more often than you think. Many people start using creatine with high expectations, hoping it will quickly boost their strength, increase energy, and help rebuild muscle. And while those benefits are possible, they don't just happen automatically. The problem is, most people don't take the time to understand how creatine actually works, especially at this stage of life. They might take inconsistent doses, ignore hydration, or skip the one thing that really makes a difference: regular strength training. Then, when progress doesn't show up, they assume creatine doesn't work for them. But here's the truth. Creatine isn't failing you. The approach is, after 50, your body responds differently than it did years ago. It needs consistency, patience, and the right support system to improve. Creatine can absolutely be part of that system, but only if it's used properly. That means taking it consistently, staying hydrated, and actually giving your muscles a reason to grow stronger through movement and resistance. Without those pieces in place, you're not giving creatine anything to work with. So, if you feel like you're wasting your time, it might not be the supplement. It might be how you're using it. And once you fix that, everything can start to change. Today, we're talking about why you might want to stop taking creatine, at least until you understand this. Don't worry, this isn't about fear. Creatine is actually one of the best supplements out there. But after 50, there are a few things you really need to get right first. But before we begin, drop your name and the city you're watching from in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Number 1, stop expecting creatine to do everything. Let's start with the biggest issue. If you're taking creatine expecting it to rebuild muscle on its own, that's where things start to go wrong. It's one of the most common misunderstandings, especially for people who are just getting into supplements later in life. There's this idea that creatine will somehow kickstart muscle growth without much effort, but that's not how your body works. Creatine doesn't replace effort. It doesn't act as a substitute for movement, resistance, or consistency. What it actually does is support the work your muscles are already doing. It helps your body produce quick energy during short bursts of activity, which can improve your performance slightly. But if there's no activity to begin with, there's nothing for creatine to enhance. Think about it like this. Your muscles need a reason to grow or stay strong. That reason comes from being challenged through strength training, resistance exercises, or even consistent body weight movements. Without that stimulus, your body has no signal to maintain or build muscle, no matter how many supplements you take. This is especially important after 50, when muscle loss naturally speeds up. At this stage, doing nothing and hoping creatine will fix it just leads to disappointment. But when you combine it with even simple, regular training, everything changes. Suddenly, creatine has a purpose. It can help you push a little harder, recover a bit better, and stay consistent with your routine. So the takeaway is simple but important. Creatine works best as a support system, not a solution on its own. If you give your body a reason to adapt, creatine can help you get more out of that effort. But without that effort, it's just sitting there, doing very little. Number 2, stop ignoring strength training. Walking every day and staying generally active is great for your health, no question about it. It helps your heart, improves circulation, and keeps you moving, which is especially important as you get older. But when it comes to fully benefiting from creatine, that level of activity alone usually isn't enough. Creatine is most effective when your muscles are being challenged in a meaningful way. And while walking is excellent for overall wellness, it doesn't provide enough resistance to truly signal your muscles to grow or even maintain their strength over time. That's why some people take creatine, stay active, and still don't see much change. They're missing a key piece of the puzzle. After 50, this becomes even more important. Your body naturally starts to lose muscle mass in a process that accelerates if you don't actively work against it. The most effective way to slow that down is through resistance training. That doesn't mean you need to lift heavy weights or spend hours in the gym. It simply means your muscles need to be challenged regularly. Even simple bodyweight exercises can make a huge difference. Movements like squats, push-ups, lunges, or resistance band exercises are enough to activate your muscles and send the signal your body needs to stay strong. Once that signal is there, creatine can step in and support your performance, helping you get more out of each session. So yes, keep walking and staying active. That's a great foundation. But if you want to truly benefit from creatine, adding even a small amount of resistance training can completely change your results. Number 3. Stop watching. Only the scale. This one confuses a lot of people. You start taking creatine, everything seems normal at first, and then suddenly the number on the scale goes up. Naturally, your first reaction might be, wait, this isn't working. It feels like you're moving in the wrong direction, especially if your goal is to stay lean or lose weight. But that quick conclusion is usually based on a misunderstanding of what's actually happening inside your body. That increase in weight is mostly water being stored in your muscles, not fat gain. Creatine helps your muscles hold more water as part of the process of improving energy availability and performance. This is a normal and expected effect, and in many ways, it's a sign that creatine is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Your muscles may even look slightly fuller or feel stronger as a result. The problem is, the scale doesn't tell the full story. It can't distinguish between fat, muscle, and water. It just shows a single number. So if you rely only on that number, it's easy to misinterpret what's really going on and assume something negative is happening when it's not. Instead, it's more helpful to look at other signs of progress. Pay attention to how your clothes fit, how strong you feel during workouts, and whether your overall energy and performance are improving. Those indicators often give you a much clearer picture than the scale ever will. So if your weight goes up after starting creatine, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're gaining fat or losing progress. In many cases, it simply means your muscles are responding and holding more water, exactly as they should. Number 4. Stop forgetting about hydration. Creatine works by drawing more water into your muscle cells, and while that's a big part of how it supports strength and performance, it also means your body's need for fluids goes up. This is something a lot of people don't fully realize when they start taking it. They keep their usual hydration habits, not knowing that their body is now operating a bit differently. If you're not drinking enough water, you might start to notice some uncomfortable signs. You could feel more tired than usual, even without intense activity. Some people experience mild muscle cramps, a sense of tightness, or just feel off in a way that's hard to explain. It can be subtle at first, but over time it becomes more noticeable. And here's where the confusion happens. Many people immediately blame creatine. They assume the supplement is causing these issues, so they stop taking it altogether. But in reality, the problem, often, isn't creatine itself. It's dehydration. Your muscles are pulling in more water, but if you're not supplying enough fluids, your body struggles to stay balanced. This is especially important after 50, when your body may not signal thirst as strongly as it used to. You can become slightly dehydrated without even realizing it, and adding creatine into the mix makes proper hydration even more critical. The fix is simple, but powerful. Make a conscious effort to drink more water throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Pay attention to how your body responds, especially around workouts. When you stay properly hydrated, those uncomfortable feelings often disappear, and you're able to actually experience the benefits creatine is meant to provide. Number 5. Stop taking too much. One of the most common mistakes people make with creatine is assuming that taking more will lead to faster or better results. It's an easy assumption to make after all. With some things, increasing the dose can increase the effect. But creatine doesn't really work that way, especially over the long term. Your body only needs a small, consistent amount to see benefits. For most people, around 3 to 5 grams per day is enough to fully support muscle energy and performance. Once your muscles are saturated with creatine, taking more doesn't push things further. It doesn't suddenly boost strength faster or accelerate muscle growth. Instead, your body simply uses what it needs and ignores the rest. The problem with going beyond that range is that it can increase the chances of discomfort. Some people may experience bloating, stomach upset, or a general feeling of heaviness when they take higher doses than necessary. It doesn't mean creatine is bad, it just means the dosage isn't aligned with what the body actually requires. This becomes even more important after 50, when your body tends to respond better to steady, moderate approaches rather than extremes. Consistency and balance matter much more than pushing limits unnecessarily. A simple daily dose is easier to maintain and far less likely to cause unwanted side effects. So instead of chasing quick results by increasing your intake, focus on keeping it consistent. Stick to what works, give your body time to respond, and combine it with the right habits. That's how you get the benefits without creating problems along the way. Number 6. Stop expecting instant results. Let's be real. After 50, progress takes time. Your body doesn't respond the same way it did in your 20s or 30s, and expecting fast, dramatic changes is one of the biggest reasons people get discouraged. Muscle growth is slower, recovery takes longer, and improvements tend to come in smaller steps. That's not a setback, it's just how the body naturally adapts with age. Creatine doesn't override that reality. It doesn't suddenly speed everything up or transform your body overnight. Instead, it works in a much more gradual and supportive way. It helps your muscles produce energy more efficiently, which can improve your performance during workouts. You might notice you feel a bit stronger, or that you can handle slightly more effort than before. But here's the key. Those benefits build over time. Creatine is not about instant results, it's about consistent improvement. That extra rep, that small increase in strength, that slightly better recovery, those are the changes that add up week after week. And over time, they can lead to real, noticeable progress. The challenge is that many people don't give it enough time. They expect quick results, don't see them, and assume it's not working. In reality, they just haven't stayed consistent long enough to see the effect. Patience is everything here. When you combine creatine with regular training, proper hydration, and a steady routine, the results do come, but they come gradually. And in many ways, that's a good thing, because slow progress is often the kind that lasts. So instead of rushing the process, focus on staying consistent. Trust the small improvements and give your body the time it needs to respond. Number 7. Stop being inconsistent. This is where a lot of people fall off. They start taking creatine with good intentions, stay consistent for a few days, then life gets in the way. Maybe they forget a dose here and there, skip a few days, then pick it back up again later. On the surface, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but with creatine, that inconsistency can quietly hold back your results. Creatine doesn't work like a quick pre-workout boost that you feel immediately after taking it. Its benefits come from building up and staying at a steady level inside your muscles. This is often referred to as muscle saturation. When your muscles are consistently saturated, creatine can properly support energy production, strength, and performance during your workouts. But when you take it inconsistently, those levels can drop, and when that happens, you're not getting the full benefit. It's like taking one step forward, then a step back, over and over again. You never quite reach the point where creatine can do what it's meant to do. This is why daily use matters far more than perfect timing. You don't need to stress about taking it at the exact same hour every day, or pairing it with a specific meal. What really matters is that you take it consistently, day after day, so your body can maintain those levels over time. Especially after 50, when progress already takes more patience, consistency becomes even more important. A simple routine, taking your creatine at the same time each day, can make a big difference in how effective it is. So instead of aiming for perfection, aim for consistency. That's what turns creatine from something you sometimes take into something that actually supports real, steady progress. Number 8. Start using it the right way. Now here's what you should do instead. Keep it simple and focus on what actually works. Start with a small daily dose of creatine. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, and make it part of your routine. The key is consistency. Taking it every day, even on rest days, helps your muscles stay properly supported over time. You don't need perfect timing or special protocols, just make it a habit you can stick with. Next, pay attention to your hydration. Since creatine pulls water into your muscles, your body needs more fluids to function properly. Drinking enough water isn't just a small detail, it directly affects how you feel, how you perform, and how well creatine works for you. It's one of the easiest changes you can make, but also one of the most important. Then comes the part that truly unlocks results. Strength training. You don't need a complicated program or heavy weights. Simple exercises done consistently, like squats, push-ups, resistance band work, or light weights, are more than enough to challenge your muscles. This gives your body a reason to stay strong and improve, and that's exactly what creatine supports. Also, shift your focus away from just the number on the scale. Instead, pay attention to how you perform. Are you getting a little stronger? Can you do more reps? Do your workouts feel more controlled or less exhausting? These are the signs that real progress is happening. When you bring all of this together, consistent creatine use, proper hydration, regular strength training, and a performance-based mindset, everything starts to click. Creatine stops being something you hope will work and becomes a reliable tool that actually supports your progress. Not a shortcut, not a gimmick, but something that genuinely helps when used the right way. So, before you keep taking creatine the same way, ask yourself, are you actually using it correctly, or just hoping it will do the work for you? If this video helped you understand things better, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for more simple fitness tips. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you made any of these mistakes before? Let me know in the comments below.